Hey everyone, welcome here. I'm Maika, and in this video you'll learn why for some people it's hard to make connections with others, why they can end up feeling like they don't belong a lot of the time, and how to get better at connection. I want to share the comment that inspired this video. Can you create a video about making connections with people? I struggle with this. I've had feelings of loneliness since I was a kid, and it's followed me my entire life. The fact that I'm not good with making connections and expanding my relationship circle makes me feel broken. Especially when I go to social events, because that's when I see other people who make connections with others so easily. It makes me feel lonely in a crowd, like I'm always on the outside, in the cold, looking through a window into a warm, happy house. Thank you, first of all, for opening up like this and sharing your experience. I know that a lot of people will resonate with this, and I want to explain where this comes from and how to get better at connecting. There's different reasons why people have a connection wound, why they feel lonely and have felt that way for as long as they can remember. The most common reasons for this are neglect and abuse in childhood. Neurodiversity can also cause or contribute to this experience, meaning having ADHD or being on the autism spectrum. If you didn't learn how to form connections in your family of origin, or if you didn't experience connection with your primary caregivers, then you never learned the skills that we need to form connection. Instead, you made lots of experiences that left you feeling lonely, isolated, like you don't belong, or like something's wrong with you, or like other people and relationships are inherently stressful. You're stuck in a cycle in which you end up feeling anxious around other people, insecure, nervous, overwhelmed, awkward, stressed, or disconnected. You might also feel bitter whenever it feels like the rest of humanity has decided to ice you out, to not appreciate you, or to not support you. Or you might have the suspicion that the people you're around at any moment don't really want you there. You might be sensitive around feeling excluded or rejected. You might overanalyze social situations and ruminate before and after about what happened and the supposed mistakes you made. You might also try and win people over by being overly conforming and people-pleasing and accommodating. All of this makes connection, other people, and relationships really stressful to you. So, intentionally or not, you might also be withdrawing from them, avoiding people or keeping them at arm's length, engaging with them in a superficial, non-committed, casual, and distanced way. People are triggering you and you don't want to be triggered and lose energy, so you keep them at a safe distance. And your tendency to isolate and avoid might even seem to be self-care. And I want to highlight that this is a cycle that you were born into. If you had made different experiences as a kid, you wouldn't be dealing with any of this. This isn't something that's fixed about you, inherent, or something you failed at. It's a question of not having gotten the same instruction manual that other people got. And now that you're an adult, you can reparent yourself and learn the things that you haven't learned up until now. You're just as capable of connection as the next person. You're part of humanity and you belong like everybody else. Start by increasing your engagement with others, and this will at first increase the amount of stress you have to process. But the better you get at connecting with people in a healthy way, the less stressful it will become, and the more connected you will feel and less lonely. So the cost-benefit balance will gradually shift more and more towards benefits. But there is no way of getting better at connection without first going through some sort of discomfort. The discomfort of breaking through avoidance and isolation and the unhelpful core beliefs that have formed and cemented in your psyche throughout a lifetime. You can increase your engagement with others by smiling at them, by waving or greeting them when you meet them in a shared public space like the grocery store, at work, or in your neighborhood. You can put people's birthdays in your calendar and then call or text on their birthday. You can invite an acquaintance or friend to meet for a walk. You can make it a habit to congratulate people on their wins. You can look for group activities that you can join in your area to meet new people, like community centers, open mics, game nights, hiking groups, book clubs. Next, when you interact with people, put the interaction into the center of your attention. So don't allow yourself to be distracted by your phone, Make eye contact, be present, listen, be curious about what the other person is sharing, follow up with questions, remember details of the things that they shared with you, and follow up on that in a text the next day or the next time you meet. Attune yourself to the person you're interacting with. Try to match their energy when they're sharing. So if they share something that's worrying them, it's important to express concern. If they're joyful, then allow yourself to also become a bit enthusiastic and express that. Listen to understand the general message of what the other person is wanting to share and then respond to that. Otherwise, you might get caught up in a detail of what they shared and then fixate on that. And then they might feel like you're not really listening or misunderstood or like you're dismissing them. And if you disagree on something, try to understand the other person's perspective on whatever it is that you disagree on, instead of emphasizing voicing your own perspective and disagreement. Of course, there is room to do that. It's important to know that that can be a disruptor to the connection, though, depending on how you phrase it and how often it happens. So be sure to always prioritize the connection and really ask the other person, well, that's interesting. How did you arrive at that conclusion? What are your thoughts on that? And how did those thoughts form? What are your experiences with this? Instead of immediately jumping to, oh, well, I completely disagree with that. When you're making plans with someone, be sure to really follow through when it's time to be specific about making plans, like the day, the time, the what, the where. Otherwise, they can feel rejected if, when the conversation has come to that point, you change the topic or if you stop texting back. And if you don't want to do something with someone, be upfront about that and let them know. And now I want to talk about some important don'ts for connection. And the first one is don't hide your agenda. That's a really important one. Other people will feel manipulated. Be open and frank about what it is you want, what you don't want. You can be friendly about it, collaborative and constructive. So don't shower somebody with attention, affection, and support if they're not reciprocative, because that will just end up with you being frustrated and resentful. And don't offer help or pretend to be friends if you're actually interested in something more. Don't exaggerate your experience to get heard. Don't blame others or circumstances for all the things going on in your life. Be accountable. And don't talk about others behind their backs. It sends the message that when you're not around, I'm going to do the same with you. And don't really unpack your opinion on a divisive topic if you don't know somebody well. They might be friendly and not say anything, but internally, they might be taking a step back. And don't expect the other person to do all the relationship work, participate in it, address things that need to be addressed, help the other person feel safe and understood, apologize for mistakes. If you talk a lot, make sure to also give the other person room to express themselves, especially if they have a slower processing style and need a few seconds longer to formulate thoughts or words. So allow silences to come up, ask questions, and condense what you want to share down to the most important facts. In general, it's a good idea to sometimes check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I contributing to this connection in a way that allows for reciprocity? Good friendships and relationships are a positive give and take. Not because that always has to be monitored down to the last percent. It's not always going to be 50-50. Sometimes somebody's going through something and they need more support. That's completely natural. But at some point, it has to tip back to around 50-50. Otherwise, the other person might feel exploited. So if you never think about this, it might just kind of slip in that you're the one taking up more space in the connection, and the other person starts withdrawing and you don't really even know what's going on. So it's good to sometimes just ask this, am I contributing, so that it's a full reciprocity? And giving can mean lending an ear, offering understanding and empathy. It can also mean offering hands-on support with child or elderly care, moving, researching, figuring things out. And a really, really important part of making connections is also having good boundaries. Not the kind that keep everyone out from the get-go, but the kind that keep the wrong people out and give you the autonomy and space to be yourself with the right people. People who don't have good boundaries will sometimes find themselves ignoring other people's attempts at reaching out, phone calls, text, because that can feel threatening. It can feel like if I allow somebody in, I then lose agency and I'm completely at their mercy or non-mercy, and there's no way to end the interaction or shape or form it in some sort of way. To feel strong when making connection, remind yourself that you have agency in it. You're allowed to end any interaction at any time. You're allowed to say things like, I can't talk about this anymore right now. Can we take a break or change topics? Or, I have to go now. I'll see you tomorrow. Or, I know what I'm doing with this, thanks. You're allowed to choose who you want to spend how much time with and which activities you want to engage in with them or not. And as a last thought, I want to encourage you to make inner space for the fact there's always going to be people out there who won't get you, who don't want to get you, who have already made up their mind about you and aren't interested in a real conversation. Let them exist. These people are always going to exist. And don't allow them to be the reason you withdraw from everybody and then miss out on connection and friendships with people that you find interesting and like. I'll stop here for now. I hope this was helpful and wish you all the best. And if you like connecting to people online who are doing inner work, check out my online community where I host weekly live sessions in which we dive deeply into the topics that I discuss on this channel. Till next time, take care. And remember, you belong. There's really not much more that needs to be said about that. It's as simple as that. You belong.